everyone, it is good to see you today. You might wonder why I'm wearing these workout clothes for our Bible story today. It's because this month we are training for a 5K together. Have you heard of a 5K before? It's like a type of race that's 5 kilometers long, which is a little over 3 miles. But don't worry, if running is not your thing, we're not actually going to run this far. But we are going to have some fun as we train for a 5K, because there is no better way to live out commitment. Commitment is making a plan and putting it into practice. Sure, you could go out and run a 5K without any training, and you might barely make it across the finish line. But if you make a plan and you put it into practice, you'll be able to run with a lot more energy, and you might even enjoy it. So I've made a plan for us to train, and we get to put that into practice. There's a lot that goes into training your body for a race, including training for agility, endurance, and flexibility. So today, we're gonna do jumping jacks. So on the count of 3, I need you to do 10 jumping jacks with me. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Woo. Good job, everybody. That's a great way to start off our training together for this 5K. If you want to train and you want to run a race like a 5K, you need some big time commitment. Did you know that the Apostle Paul actually talked about running in the Bible? Paul mentioned running as an example for a different kind of training. He wrote about it in one of his letters to the church in Corinth. So let's check out 1 Corinthians 9:24. In a race, all the runners run, but only one gets the prize. You know that, don't you? So run in a way that will get you the prize. Of course, Paul is talking about more than just running, but in order to understand what he really meant, you need to know what it takes to run a long race. First, you need a plan. A plan will help you know what to do each day as you prepare. For example, you might set aside some time for running, some time for cross training, and maybe some days to focus on agility and endurance. Next, you got to put your plan into action. You got to move. You might do short, fast runs as well as some long, slower runs. You might run on a treadmill at the gym while you watch your favorite show on TV. You might head outside for some long cross-country runs. However you do it, you need to move. And you can't forget to get the fuel you need. You're running for longer periods of time, so it's important to carb up. You're gonna need to drink a lot too before you ever start running. Pick up that water bottle and take a swig. You need to stay hydrated. And you can't forget those important rest days as well. That's my personal favorite. You might need to do some stretching, some rolling, or maybe even some icing. The important thing is just to give your body a chance to rest and repair before your next day of training. Now that seems like a lot, doesn't it? As you can see, running takes a lot of hard work and practice. It's like Paul said, run in a way that will get you the prize. But remember, Paul actually meant that there's something far more important that we need to be training for. Let's see what else he wrote in his letter to the Corinthians. All who take part in the games train hard. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. What Paul was saying to the Jesus followers in Corinth is the same for those of us who follow Jesus today. We're all running a race, and I don't mean that we're literally running and trying to cross a finish line. I mean that life is like a race. It's like a journey as we choose to follow Jesus and live his way. If we want to run the race well, then we need to set our focus on what matters most. We need to do what Jesus said is most important, and we know exactly what that is. because Jesus actually said it. Jesus said to love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Love him with all your mind. This is the first and most important commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. That's what is most important. That's the purpose of our journey, to love God and love other people. Just like we need to train for a run in a race, there are things we can do to grow stronger in our relationship with God. We need a training plan. We need practice. To start out, we need to hear from God. When we read the Bible, we see how God has been working in the lives of people from the very beginning. We also need to pray. When we pray, we connect with God. We can talk to God honestly and tell God how we really feel. We can ask God to help us run our race well. Another important part of our training plan is to talk. We can talk about God with other people. When we talk about what we believe, we can learn more about God, and we can help others learn about God too. And finally, if we want to run our race well, we need to live for God in everything we do. We can put what we believe into action. We can show how much we love God by choosing to love other people. Remember, Jesus said that the most important thing we can do is love God and love others. We can put that into practice by following our training plan. We can hear from God, we can pray and talk to God, and we can talk about Him with others and live for Him every day. When you put these skills into practice, you'll live out what Paul wrote in his letter. You'll run in a way so that you get the prize. So here's what we need to remember today. Keep practicing what matters most. Thankfully, you're not alone as you train. God is with you. God can help you as you practice loving Him and loving others. So keep training, and we will see you next week.